Very, very warm, good evening. This is Arunava Chaudhuri. You are live on my YouTube channel, Arun Foot. It's another Indian football and more discussion on my channel. And at the start of the show, as I like to do, always a reminder, if you like what we talk about, if you like the discussions here, like the video, share the video for others to join in. And of course, also, if you haven't, do subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to slowly grow the community. We stand at 3,714 at this moment in time at the start of the show. Let me grow and watch the short videos. I did something about the African Cup of Nations, the final between Senegal and Morocco. And I wanted to start about that. I got a picture of it, of Senegal lifting the AFCON 2025 title in Rabat against host Morocco in what was somewhat of a controversial final, a game which highlighted, showcased what is all good, what is all bad about football, um, and therefore, um, yeah, again, I did a separate video on that. Watch it, and we will surely come to speak about it here in this live. Where is AIFF getting all money from? Another foreign coach for women U17 team. Zarava, the U17 women's team, the program for a while will now be funded by Coca-Cola. So if Conti signs on as the head coach for the under 17s, then that would be funded by Coca-Cola. So that is what I can tell you at this stage of things. I heard from some YouTubers the first match of the ISS Kolkata Darwin will be complete fixture will outside. Sachin, again, I don't know what the other people said or what you've read. It was a proposal from the All India Football Federation to kick off the Indian Super League on the 14th with a Kolkata derby, which on one side has been turned down by both Mohun Bagan and East Bengal. The rest of the fixtures is in up in the sky, up in the air, because a lot of teams cannot finalize on their matches. And to me, it could be the killing element um, for the ISL because a lot of stadiums have so-called blackout, washout dates where the grounds are not available due to prior bookings. So the issue is that normally, for a certain period of time at the start of the season, clubs or leagues block grounds so that there is no clash of availability. And now, of course, with concerts becoming a bigger thing, political rallies, this, that, everything, those have been in the system, you know. And so, therefore, for me, I would say that most probably still, in an ideal case scenario, maybe later in this week, maybe next week, we could be looking at something at fixtures or realizing, uh, you know, and because there are still issues in there. Mohammad Supajan appealed to CAS for Anwar Ali without lower court final verdict. Will the case stay in CAS or, as you mentioned, clear case and shut with punishment? No, it's clear cut case. The problem is that the appeals committee, the player status committee, all of them have had their time and chance. They have not been able to, um, so therefore, that's the thing. And my opinion has not changed since the first video that I made on this topic, what, 1.5 years, close to 1.5 years back. So therefore, Mohan going to CAS is the right thing. Can you compare La Liga and EPL on the basis of competitiveness or chances to qualify UCL in respective league? Sham, competitiveness is always very difficult to compare because it is not just the top 3, 5, 7 clubs. It's about the whole league. Both the teams are competitive. So that is that. You will always say that because of bigger spending, the competitiveness in the Premier League should be more. But again, I on the other side, you can say it's quite interesting always to see smaller teams in La Liga with much less budgets How are they competing to try and get into Europe? That, for example, a team like Sevilla, who used to be regulars in the Europa League, even multiple times winners in the Europa League, that again. So therefore, to compare the leagues on competitiveness, it's very difficult because you would say in the Premier League you have much bigger names, but much bigger clubs, players. But again, in La Liga, it's a little different. So I would say that. Hey, Blue, welcome back. Are we qualifying women's category because there isn't a competitive competition from West Asia because the last match against the open side looked a real school team? Mehul, it's not just about West Asia. I think it's about generally Asia. Look at Central Asia as well. The under 17s qualified against Kyrgyz Republic and against Uzbekistan, which in the men's game, again, forget Uzbekistan, but Kyrgyzstan would be a tough ask. So therefore, yes, the competitiveness even in Southeast Asia is much, much less, despite the top teams in East Asia, talking especially North Korea, under 17, under 20 women's world champions, Japan having won the senior World Cup in the women's game. You can add, China, South Korea to the discussion. They are of a different level. So therefore, yeah, the competitiveness in the women's game surely isn't there as in the men's game. Women's team, all 11 are foreigners as coach. Who has appointed them, scouted them? How are these three? Ogni, the Joachim Alexandersson came through a partnership between the Swedish and the Swedish Football Federation and the AIFF. And the other two were presented, I guess not scouted. I guess they've come through certain contacts of agents, and that's how it would work, I guess. Why can't the AF just make the clubs without ready stadiums play in stadiums which are ready, like in Goa, Jamshedpur, Kolkata, etc.? Prasad, is Kolkata ready? Is Goa ready? Again, are they able? We know what happened in Goa with too many matches in a short space of time. Um, there are problems, and if we are going to say, oh, you're going to play matches, let's say in 3 venues, and then kick off and spread it out, you have blackout dates even later in the season in March, in April, even in May. So at the moment, the AFF is stuck with trying to figure out when to play where, right? And when are stadiums ready? When are stadiums ready? Because the problem at the end of the day is that certain clubs are saying we don't see our grounds being ready before the 1st of March. So there are fundamental questions and there are logistical questions which should have been solved first, right? I said to someone today when the conversations were going on, before Christmas even, why weren't the grounds blocked? Why were the grounds not made ready? Yeah. Hi, Raj. Welcome back. Monban went to cast so early. Blue, again, to me, the issue is very simple. Could have been solved easier. I think you would have a decision by now, which you still don't have. And therefore, for me, all these things have shown things the way that we don't like them to be, but they are the way they are. And that's the way where we're stuck at the moment. And is Joachim going to be the coach of under 20 side? Yes, Mehul, he is, and yeah, he was coaching the under 17s and under 20s over the last year. Done actually quite well, qualifying both the teams. But again, now he has to focus on one of them. U70 women's coach must be because of Coca-Cola. Yes, Raj, that is the case. Bayern looking great this season. Do you think Van Uysil can be in card 6 as right? Blue, I think if Bayern play the way they're playing at the moment, Jamal Musiala coming back, other players coming back from injuries and things, yeah, they would be one of the top teams to look at in the UEFA Champions League to win the trophy. Yes, I mean, if you see on Saturday, right, first half, RB Leipzig were good, right? Could have been up maybe 2-0. And then Bayern come back after the break and then in half an hour literally demolished them and could have scored 2 or 3 more. And then also some saves from Manuel Neuer. And so therefore, let's wait and see. Hi, Ashish. Welcome back. People who are hyping Arunava club, your thoughts, one thing you like to challenge them. Murari, anyone hyping them, just ask what's the outcome. Simple outcome, right? Bengal can be tricky to get permission as voting season, and we don't know the situation of Salt Lake Stadium. Blue, supposedly the grass is being reworked on at this moment. So I don't know. As you say, Bengal, Kerala, Tamil Nadu issues regard to elections, and yeah, I mean I haven't looked uh, where are state level elections in India. So we have um, potential elections, not potential elections. Assam, Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Puducherry. So your problem here already is that, yeah, right, and March to May, right, tentative March to May. So therefore, from that again, you've got four states. I forgot always Assam. Assam also comes into the mix of the conversation. So therefore, that election thing could also be an issue. What could be the repercussions if Anwar Ali, Delhi FC, and East Bengal is found guilty? Anwar, very simple. Anwar Ali gets a certain ban, 4 to 6 months, gets a certain fine. Delhi FC, East Bengal get a much heavier fine. I would think 2 transfer window bans. Um, and then there could be also individual repercussions. And yeah. Good evening, Augusto. Radhea Marca, foreign YouTuber, posted a video titled Playing with the Best U15 team in the world. Now, having has reached another level. This YouTuber was also invited to Messi event in Delhi. Okay. Um, and then most probably they got to know each other in Delhi. And then again, YouTubers are not journalists, right? They do not cross check if a story is true or not. They just do something for the sake of doing it. So therefore, that is another problem. Yeah. One day planning to host this league in Bengal given elections. Rather, where are you going to host it then? You've got so many states, so many issues. I don't know. Is a false messiah trying to slow down the legal process using several flaws in the system? He's done that, no? Normally, you know, he could be even facing a life ban for what he's done around that whole Anwar Ali thing, right? Because the person you're talking about is on one side his agent, acting like his agent, right? Taking care of his finances in the background and running involved in a club, talking to another club. Again, FF informed I-League clubs that it will contribute 5 crore towards Operation Broadcast for the 25-26 season, has asked clubs to contribute 5 crore as well. The AIFF is a joke. 9G, I know, right? This is a reality that AIFF is willing to contribute, you know, 5 crores to me is the joke, right? So to me, and, you know, so therefore for me, I don't know what's going to happen on that. So therefore for me, it's very difficult at the moment. Barca losing another shocker, nothing else. No. Morally, this happens in league matches. There will be surprises. No, sir, don't relegate us, sir, Messiah. Yeah, Raj, he's done, no? About getting guys, why are we talking so much about? I've told you, why are we wasting? We've got enough things to speak about in Indian football, and we're wasting our time again speaking about him and the things which are not going to help Indian football, right? Let's talk about the things which are enjoyable. When I was going to play in the MIC Cup, Ranjivas had said that he has had interest from international scouts on 5 of his players. Those scouts are coming to MIC Cup to watch them. What do you think about it? Mehul, you cannot transfer under 18 boys. So this whole interest is nice. But again, where are they going to go? They can't go to Europe. One of the big YouTubers, also a former friend to False Messiah, indirectly called out False Messiah propaganda. Okay, Hannibal. If one legal team has brain, which they doesn't, they can drag that fake. Of course they can. They can drag him to FIFA ethics. And then that's the end of the story. We're rid of the gentleman for once and for all. What makes the Senegal team so good? Samath, quality, quality players, yeah, and quality on the pitch in different positions, able to withstand difficult situations. You know, and to me, that is a big challenge. I would say that you come in as a entity, try to build something, and yeah, a great leader in Sadio Mane. And they have been. I said that in my video today. Watch that if you want to know more about it. Um, Senegal has been, in my opinion, even though a lot of people will speak about Morocco, I think Senegal have been the best African side over the last decade. You know, and to me, they've also smartly integrated players of origin into their setup. I look at Ismail Jakobs, for example, former Germany junior international, and all those guys born and brought up in France. Uh, you know, so let's see. People in Instagram still worship Majaba. The stupidest why people blindly for certain guys. Not. Look, again, look at the world has gone that way, sadly, right? The new broadcast tender asked the entity coming in to produce some broadcast. I said right now, only DD Sports fits that bill at the moment. Sony and Star Sports don't do production at the moment. Would you try, even if Sony and Star Sports don't do production, um, the problem was and is anyway, are they interested in the rights at all? Right? To bid, right? We've talked about fan code. We've spoken about others as well. So we'll have to wait and see who is that entity who can take us forward. So therefore, um, yeah. So therefore, it's going to be an interesting one. But to me, normally, what has been the case in the last few years that, for example, FSDL via Rice was producing the broadcast and then was putting it on Sports 18 or on Star Sports, Geo Hotstar, or on One Football, the global app. So therefore, that's the thing, and they have budgeted 9 crores for media production. So they are in that they're prepared. The majority of people watch football from reels. Yeah, Raj, that's a problem. How many Premier League footballers? No doubt. Has many Premier League footballers? No doubt they have quality. Zoravar, it doesn't matter if they've got Premier League quality players or not. They've got good players from the French league, from the German league, from the Spanish league. Um, they are a good thing. Arunava, the Diouf guy is the real deal. He locked down Salah and Brahim Diaz in the same tournament. Yeah, a player with potential. Sharnata says, Sadio Mane, you legend. Glad he came to India. Senegal are such a good team. Sadio Mane deserves huge appreciation, more success. So good person as well. Footballer. Congrats, Senegal. Hope they go far in the World Cup. Yeah, let's wait and see. And I think the interesting um, thing to have watched around what all happened, transpired yesterday, a lot of stuff which was not aware to me in the way of how the Moroccans were trying to actually, psychologically cheat, right? I was not aware of that, right? The whole towel gate, I guess you've seen reels and whatever on the net. And other things, not taking care of teams travels properly, not providing here and there security, basic things. um yeah uh, so therefore Senegal were a better team. I still don't know why the goal wasn't given. If I look at the goal, and then on the other side, yeah, um, that penalty, Brian Diaz doing shooting the penalty like the way he does, it just complete mayhem. Mohan, save our Indian football from these babus, please. Gina and I, as Rava says, no point of praying for Indian football. It's finished. I don't know if it's finished, but praying, maybe praying to whoever your god is, or pray to the football gods. I bet 90% of people will not pay to watch ISL. Raj, I think 99% of people will not pay to watch any football. right? Even your big talking Premier League, Champions League fans, do they actually are willing to pay? Yesterday's FA final, the Papa Gue goal got completely out of focus because of this controversy. Um, yeah, incredible now that you shot against the crossbar and in. No chance for Bono, who has been or was the best goalkeeper of the tournament. Um, yeah, and again, that Senegal, I mean, think about it from a mentality standpoint. You have a situation where after 94 minutes, your coach says, guys, we're done and dusted. Let's leave this. We're leaving. Tada, we're gone. Right? That was what the coach said and did. Um, so you go into a dressing room, Uh, um, so therefore, for me, uh, to come back, of course, for Brahim Diaz not to score, and then to score a winner, and then to withstand all the pressures and the referee. Again, you guys talk about referees in the ISL. Seriously, please never talk about, uh, uh, um, you know, uh, uh, referees in the ISL, right? If you've seen the AFCON referees. So these are the things. Sadio Mane rise was not a cakewalk. The kind of environment that he brought up and achieved success this level, unbelievable. Yeah, Murali. But where is such a story, a Sadio Mane story, coming from nowhere, whatever he has achieved for club and country, and then um, also giving back to society? Just in a brilliant story. If Mohammad Subhajan can end Messiah career in the football system, then they can give one of the biggest gifts in football. Hannibal, 100%. This year, only Senegalese brothers beat the overrated English team 3-1, filled with star Premier League players. Yeah, yeah. The German commentator told the referee whistled out before the action. Yeah, Roshan, he doesn't need to. No, he's got VR. There's no need to do that. So therefore, again, this whole tournament is made by multiple referee blunders. So no need to talk about it. Samad says Brahim Diaz did got pulled by Diouf in that corner, but Diaz flopped, sold it, and the referee couldn't do anything. Foul in the box, maybe Diaz felt guilty, but you have to do what you are told. Okay. Yeah, but is it a foul? Is it enough for a foul? Then you'll have, I don't know, 5, 7 penalties every game, right? To me, it's too soft. To me, it's too soft. Right, 23 plus minutes. Quick reminder, like, share, and subscribe Arun Foot here on YouTube. 7 likes so far, guys. We can do better. We stand at 3,714 at the moment in regard to subscribers. Thank you all. And let's try and push it to a higher level, guys. I need your help for that. And watch the short videos. Again, been saying this, a little disappointed because the views have gone down. Please do watch the short videos, support them, and spread them as well. Hey Mukul, Messiah's political backing not difficult to understand. So, Ravar, if at cast the right thing happens, there are things possible. How German see English Premier League as a player? What their option? It's another league. It's a lot of money, and a lot of players now go there, right? These people watch from illegal websites. It was expensive, but XYZ of 1,000 was affordable mentality. Yeah, that's the point, right? Raj, that's exactly the point. No one wants to spend 25 rupees or 19 rupees on a football game. And I'm not even talking about the ISL. I know even Formula One failed with that, you know? So let's see. The ref whistled before the ball went in the net. Hakimi again flopped. Senegal were angry because they missed a couple of clear chances, like in the one header and miss. Okay. Why does Mr. stands in the dugout even though he's just an owner of the club who is not an agent for the players? Of course it is, Hannibal. Everything with this is weird. You should stop. Again, I said stop, and then you're still asking questions. Real honest think is real audience again. South Asians are all like this. Whenever they lose in a sport, they will blame the officials, but be it referees or umpires in cricket. Again, they do it in other parts of the world as well, right? But again, yeah, we are where we are at this moment. I heard in an African footy podcast today there is a big mistrust of many African countries towards CAF and also Morocco. And during tournament allegations, Morocco advantage, not good development. That has been said, right? I mean, I've heard this, Roshan, I've heard this from people in general, that Morocco has got a lot of favors and that the so-called rise of Morocco, uh, um, has been aided by certain powers to be. And Senegal has raised a lot of, or flagged a lot of things for a certain period of time, but we need to expose them time to time. He's from yeah, Raj, you need to. And yeah, let's not get in. Rather than asking to like, you should tell people to hype your videos. YouTube now promotes hype videos. Yes, we have our hype as well. Yes, but again, watch first, right? I need watch numbers as well. So guys, do watch the videos, share it. I'm trying to do stuff on a daily basis, despite my busy schedule. So do support. And again, I always know, yes, we need to grow the community. By the way, sir, according to what is Muslims Mohn Bagan or Trump begging for peace prize and acting like Chad? Acha, Mohn Bagan. I would then say Trump, as Mohn Bagan is fun. But to me, again, Blue. I've said this earlier also. To me, if the sports minister mispronounces the names of all clubs, I wouldn't have a problem. Yeah. Um. So therefore, mm, the issue here is that if the minister was doing what is right, what is good, I wouldn't bother about that, right? So um, let's see. Keno Ashish Negi and co did video today saying Manisha Kalyan went to pro top division consistently trying abroad, not coming to India, taking a shot at GSS saying it's hard for us to go outside. Someone, no. Why are you comparing, you know, why are you uh, comparing the men's and the women's game? Would be my question to you. What Gurpreet said is 100% right. I would always sign it, and I've always said it on this channel. Now, if you people don't want to accept that, that's your problem. For a female player, it's much easier. But Manisha Kalyan also has to go to Peru because there were no options in Europe at the end of the day, right? That's also a reality, right? Manisha Kalyan would have stayed in Europe, loved to would have stayed in Europe rather than go to South America now. This is this is you know the real test. Ika Guru Chena has also parted ways and went for the Indonesian Super League. One by one, everyone is leaving. China, yeah, but Ika Guru Chena has gone for a while. Yeah, not surprised, right? I saw, for example, the Persijab Jepara list of foreigners, right? Which has Iker Guruchena, it has TD, it has Borja Herrera, Franca, as well as Alexis Gomez, right? So it's got five ISL, ex-ISL foreigners. I said that Senegal were forced to train on the same pitch where Morocco was going to train. The place was full of cameras. Senegal said we need privacy. Also, tell issue was there. Somehow there were a lot of issues. I don't know what the issue. The issue wasn't they were training at the same pitch. It was the hotel rooms were next to it. You can't hype videos with watching. Zoravar, I'm not saying to hype with watching. Hyping and watching are two different things, in my opinion. But to me, hyping, yes, helps, but the hyping numbers have to be such that it is actually comes into that hype cycle. So for me, more important is for the general algorithm, the views are important. So guys, I need you to watch videos, to like the videos, because if I see the videos, we were 200, 300, we were plus. Now we're getting less, and that harms, right? Even the watch alongs, right? We're easily in the 400s, reaching sometimes the 500s. We're back into the 300s. So the watching is very, very important as well. So a golden chance for Indian players to show their abilities as foreigners exiting. Now, theoretically, yes. But again, who are going to play? Are the coaches going to play younger players, give chance to young players, or are going to play experienced players? So let's see. You can do it. Rechecks as Raj. Indian Oil ISL. I don't know where your Indian oil is coming in. Often do you come to India? Namita, depends on work. Last year I was thrice in India. What would the difference between USA and Russia if USA actually invaded Greenland? Oh, Hannibal, I'm not. Let's not go into that political field. Yeah, true. If they do the right thing, who cares? Says Blue. Manisha flopped in Greece. However, I don't think she flopped, but it wasn't to the level that was needed, I guess. So after 3 videos done. Thanks, X9P. There is a difference between Trump Blue. Let's not get it. As I said, Manisha will inspire so many people. Yeah, it's great that she does inspire, but Hannibal says 23 trainings goals and flopped. Yeah, Hannibal, she didn't flop. Uh, so to me, you know, um, so for me, when you're asking me, uh, I would not say she flopped, but again, it didn't enable her to get a long-term opportunity over there, right? And she wanted to use it as a launching pad for a potential bigger league in Western Europe. Also, that didn't happen, right? I mean, Manisha has now 6 months lost 6 months without a contract, right? So that is also a reality. So was she successful? Boah, I wouldn't say she's a flop, but I wouldn't call it a success either. Actually, it is not only your issue. There's nothing good happening in Indian football. So much uncertainty. All football YouTubers are running out of content and videos to do. Even Harry videos are small. Some of that is true. I mean, I realize that, and I've started doing international stuff, which is also not getting traction. That's a sad part. But again, I'm saying you um, that's why I need your support. I need your help to try and grow the community here on Arunfoot. Yeah, we'll be doing more stuff on Instagram as well. I realize that's why I did the longer interview with Sportfolio. I don't know if you've watched it. So and to me that's very very important. Was an interesting, good interview with Johnson yesterday, and therefore for me, it was fun, enjoyable, and that's why I'll just, if you haven't watched it yet, I'm putting it here into the chat. You can watch that one as well, where I speak about my journey in football, which for me at least was enjoyable. So therefore, thanks for that. Yeah, so those are things. So what will happen? No one again bid for the proposal is ISL on AIFF YouTube channel and DD Sports. I have no clue. Again, DD Sport is is the last option, but has the sports minister spoken to them? But will it happen? I don't know. 23 matches, 23 matches, 8 goals is good. Yeah, but again, she didn't get a new contract, right? So then it was not good enough. Everyone is moving to European football. Zava, that's a sad reality. So therefore, yeah. So um, I've started, and I think I'll have to do more. Hey, Akash, will ISL actually start on February 14th? I don't think so. I have my doubts as well, to be very, very honest. Uh, uh, um, you know, so and let's see, because there are too many loose ends. Um, so let's see what happens. Where are we standing in football in January 2025? Nowhere. Yeah, Blue. I mean, again, I don't like to talk that way, but that's the sad reality of our realities of Indian football. Where I'm trying to keep the conversation alive. I think that's what I'm doing. But it's very tough, and that's why I said I need your support, without which it gets difficult. And let's see what we can do. So I understand. I also get frustrated in football condition. That's why views get lower. Remember, sir, you got super 80K in one live Chennai FC versus. Yeah, I did, but again, yeah, that those are lives, right? Roberts already said people to stop watching the football. It's a waste of time. Yeah, so that was, some people say that. The only good thing, or let's say a big thing, would be some decent performance, Women's Asian Cup, and hoping for a miracle like always. Samat, I don't think it will change much, because I see the interest in women's football is not to the level, whenever I do women's football stories, and I've done a few now over the times, the views have never been that good, right? Even a bad result in the men's game, criticism regarding the men's game is going to get you much, much bigger, much, much more views than if you're discussing the women's game, and that's the reality. So therefore, the women's, again, if we think that by qualifying for the World Cup tomorrow everything will change, no. So let's see. What's your prediction of SAF Championship this year? I have a high feeling India will get humility in SAF as well. So, Rava, let's wait and see when and where it will be played, what squad we're going to put together. These blind, you know, predictions is not to my liking, because it's very, very difficult to say, because I don't even know what the quality of our team is, and how we will be. And then we're talking. So let's see. So now will coaches give chances to young players? Namita, if coaches are trying to win, which I think is their first priority, I have my doubts. So, but I would like to, um, I would like to um, be proven wrong. But let's see. Is U17 women getting a new coach for them? Anibal, they are talking to former Italy striker Conti, who's been with Venezuela's under 20. Um, let's wait and see if we are going to get her, or if there will be yeah there will be a solution to that, because they've said Joachim Alexandersson will be coach only of the under 20s, and someone else will come in for the under 17s. When will IFL fixtures be out? So no idea. You know, um, the problem is that there are too many venues where they're not able to finalize the venues, and as long as you can't finalize the venues, you're not in a position to get started with the whole thing. That's a big, big problem. When is the next international match for India? And it's just the Hong Kong match remaining. Zorabar, yes, the Hong Kong match remains. The March is the next window. And the final match of the FC Asian Cup 2027 final qualifiers. I think, I don't even know the date. I checked, right? I said Bhubaneswar supposedly was um, the venue, 31st of March. So we'll have to wait and see what the AIFF decides. Our next step is new league, but we don't have any stadium finalized, no bookings done. How will they do it in Feb? It's already 19 Jan. Blue, this look at the whole thing. You know, um, um, so for me, um, the whole this is doesn't come as a surprise, because you've tried to create something without realizing how the things were done in the past, right? So therefore, this chaos which persists at the moment is the outcome, the end result of not doing your homework over the last few weeks and months. Yeah. What do you think about Amalia Valverde? Would there be change under Samat? I don't know enough about her to be able to have a real opinion. I've read a few things about her. Look, sounds interesting. I don't know. My problem for her would be that she is coming in now. Supposedly, she's supposed to join today in Turkey. And if she joins, she has to get to know her team. I don't know what Crispin is thinking about this, that someone has been put on top of him without having spoken with him. You know, and what change? Again, uh, defensive stability, I think, would be the one change that I would like to see. So, how these South African Premier League clubs like Mamelodi, Sundowns, Orlando Pirates dominate the CAF championships, like FIFA club, what this was not being a top 50 FIFA ranked nations? Gina and I, FIFA ranking is national team, and national team ranking and the strength of your local clubs is not always the same thing, right? Um, if you think, um, what's a good example? A lot of the African countries, right? DR Congo had a I forgot the name of the club who's been successful and won the Champions League in Africa. So therefore, that correlation doesn't exist. I want to see Ryan Williams play for national team. I think Zoravar, all of us who are real Indian football fans, um, you know, um, want to see Ryan Williams play. So just asking something personal, don't answer if you feel uncomfortable. So have you faced any great challenges in life or financial problems, sir? Am I really having a bad time? And Namita, yes. Yes, I think all of us have faced challenges, tough decisions, financial issues. And I will tell you that, over the years, if you see that a lot of things that I've done for Indian football, I'm not a rich person, right? I'm just a normal person who's trying to keep my life together, and I've done things to try and yeah, support Indian football, right? So I've spent, again, Indian football will never be able to repay me on that front. So that's not my priority also, but yeah, that's a reality. So this time it's Hong Kong. Do we see a win at home? Namita, I have no clue. Let me see what kind of team Khalid puts together. Let's see how much practice these boys get in before that game, and then we can have a conversation on that. Yes, sir, I agree. The AIFF will have to do a balancing act with ISL fixtures. Several clubs have at the home venues for entire duration. Chennai and SC Northeast United, Punjab, SC Delhi, Mumbai City have blackout dates. Yeah, blackout dates. Kolkata will have blackout dates because of elections. I guess the Blasters could face the same thing. Still not Kantirava's solution with BFC. So all these clubs have different issues, different problems, and therefore that has to be kept in mind when we talk about the clubs. Yeah, so therefore that's the thing. Wonder what will be the logo of this league. They can't use the ISL logos as if it's their own right to it. So rather, it will be go back. The rights will go back to the AFF, right? So therefore, they will use, in theory, they will use everything which is uh, branding and stuff from the real ISL. They should have just skipped this year and do everything for next summer. We are scrambling this league, and next league will be chaotic. Are we going to get chaotic loops of this kind of league or tournament? It's not even league. Blue, you ask a very valid question, and this is a question we discussed in what, September, October, prior even to the Super Cup. And we are now 3, 4 months on, and we're in this still in the same situation. The problem is that the way that they have to be running and organize this thing, you know, and you know, to me, um, the problem is very simple. Um, we need a new AFF, right? We need a replacement. When is that going to come? When will that happen? That's the big question. To me, that is the biggest of all questions. When can we have a new um, AFF, and what can they do? Because this is not going to run. Is there any other Sasta Desi alternative to VR? No. Namita, you can't install a Sasta Desi VR option. That is not Jugaad. It has to be validated by FIFA. It has to be certified by FIFA. So that is not an option. Will they be able to name it Indian Super League, as names nowadays have copyright protection? So, Robert, yes, as far as I know, it's going to be everything will be handed over from FSDL to the AFF. What do you think about new coaching appointments for all the women's team? Have they appointed good coaches? Hannibal, on paper, it looks good. In uh, but I don't know enough about these people to have an opinion about both Amelia Valverde and about Conti, um, to be able to say, hey, they're good, they're bad. Again, their CV looks good, but a good CV to me is not the decision point of saying, hey, XYZ coach is good or not. So therefore, for me, we'll have to wait and see what comes up now. Do you see a chance that they have changing it back to centralized venue? No. Prasad, which centralized venue can you do? Goa was your choice. Goa has Goa has only one functional ground at the moment. That's the Nehru Stadium. The Nehru Stadium cannot hold the whole ISL. So yeah. So therefore, for me, it's a problem at the moment, and you know. So let's wait and see. Sir, please, we all know Mr. Khalid will post the same word Uncle Squad. Namita, what Uncle Squad? Where are again? I also say, okay, nice Uncle Squad, but where are the better young players? The younger ones don't deserve. I saw Pakistan YouTubers saying that Bangladeshi leagues is best league in Asia, South Asia. Guys, you have too much of time. You're watching all these content, which is, you know, I feel doing brain rot with you guys. Why are you following the Messiah? Why are you following these things? Why? Just don't bother. Watch good quality content. In Bengali, we have a proverb, Dhur tor totka mar perek. That is kind of, yeah, 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 yeah. So Kalyan has been influenced by European leagues. Nice thing, sir. I really happy at such an extent. I feel like crying. Namita, these saying these things, I've been influenced by European leagues, or I've picked up ideas from the Bundesliga, La Liga, Premier League, blah blah. Nice, but again, I need to reality check of what can I do in an Indian context, and there Kalyan is failing completely. Hey Jordan, I am fine. Coca-Cola sponsor who? That's great, but for how long and why nobody talking about the new coach and Injustice Crispin as a coach? Has he been removed or demoted or what? What's on? Jordan, Coca-Cola is sponsoring the under 17 women's team as part of that CSR as a legacy of the FIFA World Cup trophy tour coming to India for 3 years. So that is that. Um, is it injustice to Crispin? Again, you might say, um, to me, I don't know. Because for me, the way that Crispin has been training and the team has been playing, I would have called for a foreign coach to come in earlier. And yeah, it's was the AFF or is the AFF communication right? No, no, never ever is it right. But that's a problem with our All India Football Federation. And So therefore, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But to me, if I see all of this at the moment, then yeah, this is something which needed to happen and should have happened earlier. Amelia might be female egos too much. Who knows? Whatever. Please, no such dangerous things. I hope they change the name, then I will have a little better legacy. Blue, it doesn't look likely. But again, anything is possible with the All India Football Federation. Certain Carabas have said they cannot host game for first 10 days. G9I, let's not go into who has said what or not. Today they're saying 10 days, then they'll say 14 days. And it's, again, if it's not coming from the clubs, if it's not coming from the horse's mouth, do not take it at face value. I've told you this multiple times. A lot of people are saying a lot of things. These guys are going to play here, those guys are going to play there, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. Oh, this transfer actually has been true. This guy is going here or is nearly done. Be critical, you know, you know. Well, you must be like Kalyan. Okay. Yes, exactly. I'm afraid of this happens. I hope he's Stephen Constantine for women's national team. I hope she is Stephen Constantine, because if he's a he, then we have already, then Amelia is no longer Amelia. Then suddenly it's, I don't know, Federico Valverde. But yeah, oh yes, I forgot who like it just sponsor the men's national team. There is no one. National team doesn't have a sponsor. Injustice for Crispin, he needs to improve. That's my point also. After all this, we still have to watch Khalid Ball, my eyes. Blue, yeah, we might be forced to do that very, very soon. The Moroccan team story in this final reminds of the playoff match where Eastmans were not given any proper facilities against Arkadak in the home AFC Challenge League. Okay. I don't know what comparison that can be. I don't think that comparison works. Nothing can be worse than Choba Devi Ball. Manuel, we've qualified for a World Cup, but what have we played? Right? Are we calling up our best players? Are our best players playing? Yeah. So that's the problem. Khalid Ball is goated. India has potential to beat Argentina with it. Yes, sir. Our Can sir Kono Indian sporting brand name? Namita, there are sporting brands, but no one wants to be attached to the Indian national football team. I think that is my point that I'm trying to make. Khalid is the same level as Choba Devi. Oh, Hannibal, yeah. Yeah. How do you compare Bob Houghton and Stephen Constant in the context of Indian national team? Sort of two different characters. Stephen, much more direct, much more, yeah, different approach. Bob Houghton, when he came to India, was like an elder statesman. He was like a father figure. He was like yeah, he was involved in that. Um, and they got their respective results for the team. And yeah, hard work, hard dedication were also fixed on their styles, you know? And yeah, so If you ask me, let's see. We will win games in seniors men's national team if we will replace our old boys with younger players. And that is where I disagree. Where are your younger players to replace the older players to win? You will lose by a bigger margin. Anyone who says that, sorry, doesn't understand the basics of football, of national team football. We've now had three different coaches who've tried, brought in younger players here and there, even players who I would have thought might have been interesting to bring in. All of them have flopped, right? I'm waiting for the day that this tournament kicks off and one of my WhatsApp uncle will say, I told you AFF can run a league. Blue, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's could be possible. Fearfully could be possible. Or is likely to happen. Someone or the other will tell you that most probably. And then yeah, it's a huge mess we find ourselves in. It's a very complex mess that we find ourselves in. And yeah, let's wait and see what we can do, right? So therefore, for me, that's a challenge that yeah we have to figure out ourselves, right? So for me, um, it's a it was a difficult one. It is a difficult one, and so let's see what happens. What's up with English coaches and Indian national team? Anibal, we've had some good ones over the years. Yeah. Nivea is an Indian sporting brand. They have been associated with ISIS since its inception. No, not since its inception. So our inception at the start, it was Puma, which was providing the balls. And later on, then when Puma pulled out, they were replaced by Nivea. I don't know if it was 3 years. Was it the first 3 years? I think the first three seasons was Puma. So I was good at maths. India's beaten Oman. Oman had beaten Saudi. Saudi has beaten Argentina. So you know that what I mean. So yeah. Namita, and this is, yeah, nice joke, but I always tell, there are people who make these sort of comparisons with, Team A beat Team B beat Team C, and Team C beat Team D, so Team A can easily beat Team D. Football doesn't work that way, right? That's the charm of football, we all like football, that there can be surprises, right? So therefore, for me, um, this doesn't work. The season were improving after that every coach made the national team worse. Bro, that's the problem. And again, Manolo and Khalid have one problem that they became coach following Igor Stimac. And Igor Stimac left a broken team behind, right? Uh, so, so, so the problem at the moment is that Igor got a working team from Steven, got also results. And that is the biggest difference between then and now. And yeah, therefore, um, yeah, let's wait and see what happens. But again, these are the situations where we are and what is happening, and it's a tough ask at the moment, looking at things. And to me, the questions remain, you know, and yeah. So therefore, for me, it is very difficult. Um, what has happened over the last few years, and um, very interesting to see what actually factually now happens in the coming days, because this is a real challenge um, that there is. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens. AFF has floated tender for new jersey sponsors. I hope at least someone bids and we get rid of this Performex curse jersey. Yeah, Hannibal, very interesting to see, but I don't know. AFF better run their neighbor's dog before running leagues. Oops, that's a nice one. So you're really lucky to be born in a country at least where they recognize talents. Yeah, yeah, that's surely. And Indian football fans desperately wanted Constantine to be sacked. I already told them they will regret it in future. So, Zoravar, I said it. I said it even while Stephen was there. Again, look at my old Superpower Football interviews in 2017 where I said, Stephen doesn't get the credit that he should. Never got it, and that's the reality. Denmark's badminton star Mia Blichfeld chose to pay a 45 lakh fine instead of coming to Delhi, another new low for India. Gina and I, that was not the lowest low. No? If you look at all that has happened in that hall with monkeys roaming inside the stadium, you had bird poop falling down on the field of play. You had the entrances and around the stadium, everything dirty, stray dogs roaming around, threatening to bite people walking in. Um, and but I don't know if Mia Bleach, yeah, X9PS, she participated, the one who's raised about it. She raised the issue in front. I think there was another one, the men's guy, number two, whatever his name is, right? But there are issues. There were issues. I think one of the biggest blunders of AIFF is the shutting down of Arrow's project. At least we were producing something in which better than nothing. Sort of, I agree. But the point was at some stage for the AIFF, um, who's going to fund it, right? So that was the problem, uh, uh, you know. Um, so therefore, for me, um, it was a good project. I remember talking to Bob Houghton when he and Colin Toll had the idea, and those two worked out. Say, listen, our players are not getting enough game time. We're talking about 2009, 2010, right? He was thinking about it. So yeah, so that's the point. We should get Steven his last job before him retiring. I hope that old man gets national team because represent cooks the hell out of with this team. Let's see Hannibal. He's now club coach in Greece. Sorry, in Cyprus. I don't know if he's going to come back for a third stint. Um, yeah, the realities are the way they are, and we'll now have to see what actually factually happens on that. Sir, you realize your channel is one of those rare channels which cover Indian soccer and have one of the fastest live comment flow. No, I mean, um, no. I do it my way. I try to answer all your questions. I try to not blabber too much myself. I do at the start. A lot of people talk themselves without trying to interact. But thanks. I mean, I try and do that. That's why, if more people can want to join, always say 10 likes so far. Let other people join in our conversations. Share it with other people. If you haven't, and if you haven't, subscribe to the channel, watch the short videos, and help me grow this community. I know that's not easy. And of course, as I told you, I've linked to it. Watch my Sportfolio interview, which I did with Johnson, talking about my experiences, my career, starting in 1998 with IndianFootball.com to what has happened and achieved over the last many years. He has been labeled as Western agent by BJP. So, Rava, that's the end thing that they do whenever they don't find a reason, to fight it. Arthur Papas did a decent job with Arrows Project. So we did very well. Arthur Papas did very well with the Arrows Project. If you think that was a team which had Gurpreet Singh Sandhu, uh, um, Pritham Kotal, Pranay Haldar, Probir Das, JJ, Lalindi Karalte, players even who sadly didn't make it to the top, like Shilton De Silva and all. Very good team. Sir, I think there is something wrong with Khalid Ball. It's like watching Ilafa 2.0. Lama, it doesn't matter what you're watching. The question is, can our team play what he wants to play? And that is my problem with his way of football. Sir, Namita's my grandma's name. It's a phone. I'm Rahul. Okay, Rahul. Sorry. 11th grader studying for any ET array, like coming to your channel for refreshment after my schedule. Thanks, Rahul. Sorry, didn't know that is your grandmother's ones. Is Luis Norton the Mato still coaching or has he retired? Zoravar, I think he's retired if I'm right. In my opinion, India needs to bring back Nikolai Adam for the youth teams. He's young coach. Zoravar, Nikolai Adam is not coming back to the youth teams and he's not coming back to India. He's attached to the Eintracht Frankfurt international system. He does stuff for them internationally. He's with his family in Germany. I don't think you can tempt him back. Sir, আমি আপনার এত বয়সী don't even feel আমি সময় নষ্ট করছি after Indian football. No, listen. Um, Rahul says he's very young compared to me. And wasting his time on Indian football, I would never say that. Anyone who's supporting Indian football doesn't waste his or her time on Indian football. That's why I say, if you're supporting Indian football, support Indian football. Whatever happens, support Indian football. That's what I would always say to people. I know it's tough. It's tough. It's not easy. And but again, never stop supporting Indian football. That's what I would say to you, to anybody, and which I think is very, very important. In my opinion, because that is something which is, which is, you know, uh, Indian football needs its fans, its supporters. Otherwise, it's dead. Arthur won Thai League with Buriram United last season. Thanks, Shomo. Yes, he did. So yeah, he's done well for himself. Paul stays at FC Goa. Can we expect Drazic to stay, and I don't know how much are his wages. I don't know what his wages are, but Drazic is at the moment talking to clubs across Europe. Paul Moreno wants to stay, and I think they've worked out something financially, and therefore he's staying. So yeah, that's the current status and situation in regard to FC Goa. Drazic at the moment looking likely to leave, but again the question remains if FC Goa, you know, so so that's the thing. I just now realized after AFCON, I think, Ravi, you're trying to say ISL, I League referees are better than AFCON. Yeah, Ravi, I've been telling you that. No? I've been telling people that for a long, long time. And if you or anyone thinks that VR will be the thing, uh, um, then you realize what happened yesterday where VR got involved or didn't get involved and how it got involved in this whole tournament. Look at how VR sometimes is used even here in the German Bundesliga or in the English Premier League or in La Liga. Again, football has become a very fast-paced game. It has its strengths and weaknesses, and therefore, yeah. So therefore, refereeing is not an Indian exclusive topic, so to say. That is something. Right. 15 of you watching. Quick reminder, like, share, and subscribe. Again, let's help to grow the community, and we will try and do and speak it more. With Ever still gone, has Renascor in Young Champs ended as well, or are they planning to keep organizing the league? There is no Renascor maybe this year. So who says RFDL is happening at the moment across India? So the Reliance, wherever you have the RF somewhere written, RF means Reliance Foundation. The Reliance Foundation projects are happening independently of what FSDL is doing. So all these Reliance Foundation Young Champs programs, for example, the Nopang League is happening, other projects are happening, um, you know, and the RFDL is also happening at the moment in certain parts of India already. Also, Arthur was assistant to Ensh Postecoglou, yeah, at the Australian national team setup. Big coach compared to Indian standard. Yeah, he was, or he is. Shomo. Mano needs to come back. Come back to what, Augusto? I think Manolo is staying with FC Goa. If you're asking for a comeback, Manolo is staying. As far as I know, Manolo is staying for the season in the ISL. Sir, I think we should elect a new coach. For example, Masa Tada Ishii, who has already coached Thailand, has led Thailand to ASEAN Cup because he has that attacking mindset. Lama, the question is not what kind of a mindset someone has. Whoever is India coach comes in, defensive or offensive mindset, ball playing or direct football playing, pressing, whatever. That coach needs to come in and recognize and realize what kind of players he has at his disposal when he's coaching the Indian national team. Right? If you ask Pep Guardiola tomorrow to come, I says, Pep, sign for India. Okay, I'm coming to India. And Pep wants to play Barca, Bayern, Man City style with an Indian football team. He'll fail in 5 seconds. We need a coach who understands realities. Manolo has failed. Manolo Marquez is, in Indian standards, a very good coach. Right? Even in general standards, a very good coach. But he's a good club coach. But he failed with the national team because he didn't recognize that national team and club is totally different, and he didn't have a foreigners at his disposal. right? I meant the Reliance Foundation Development League like last year. It is happening, Zoravar. It is happening. The regional qualifiers are happening. And a lot of younger players who normally would have been in ISL squads are playing in the RFDL at the moment. Even if one or two players get selected from anywhere to top club, it will be great as they're playing in mid cup. Foot sanely, none will be picked because they're too young. At that age, you're not allowed to sign for clubs in Europe, right? So all these myths, realities, and lies that are being told to you guys, I've said things 1,000 times. Again, I'm fed up of some of the things that I've said again and again and again, right? Nobody who's coming to Europe at the moment is coming to Europe on merit, right? Either it's a pay to play model, right? Pay to play, or you're not coming to Europe, right? And nobody is coming on football merit to Europe at the moment. No Indian footballer. There have been influx of many big Japanese YouTubers to India. Don't know why. Okay. Hearing this for the first time, I have no clue. Zorawar. Ashraf, not Ashram. Ashraf Hakimi visuals throwing away towels yesterday. Such a shame considering he's a CAF footballer of the year. Roshan, the behavior of Morocco, I was not aware. I've read a lot today what Morocco has been doing in and around this tournament in the last few days. I have had a lot of respect for Morocco. But that respect has really gone in questioning if Morocco can be host of the 2030 World Cup. Right? It's the same question as if USA should be hosting the World Cup this summer. Right? FIFA has a lot of problems, a lot of headaches, and also and again, forget Hakimi, but the whole behavior of the Moroccans and also the arrogance of their coach afterwards, which are yeah. So that's the thing. So legends say Hong Kong is bringing Uno cards because that's what they will play after scoring a goal. Oops, Blue. Um, I hope they've got the right cards with the +2 or +4s, and let's see what it does to our game. If Minerva boys are so good, why aren't they dominating Indian youth football? Yeah, Zorawa, that's also a point, right? And again, you know, um, very interesting to see. But yeah, Manolo will have to do the Hyderabad FC magic at FC Goa with the young players in the B team. Interesting to see without Borja, Javi, or Ika, can he make a strong team and play some good football? Augusto, playing good football is possible. My question to him would be is who's going to score your goals, right? If I look at 1 second, let me see FC Goa's squad for the moment, right? If I see FC Goa's squad, um, so Paul Moreno is the one who's there. If Dejan Drazic stays, it uh, makes them good. But the other attacking players that they have, I mean, who they don't even have proper attackers. I mean, Bryson as a winger, Mohamed Nemil as a winger, Abdul Rabe as a winger. FC Goa at the moment doesn't actually have a proper striker, right? Um, and if I look at the reserve side, mm, I'm not sure. Will be interesting to see what happens. How are you seeing Reliance Young Champs 2 kids sign for Tokyo FC? Shomo, that's good for the kids. Is it going to change anything? We'll have to wait and see. For me, I don't get carried away if Indian kids sign XYZ somewhere. I've always said it's good. It's always good if they sign somewhere, but is it going to help us? We will have to wait and see. There is news that USA bans visa for 74 countries. Foot saying they've done it for 75 countries. Yeah, so that's happening. I guess that fluke performance of Morocco in last FIFA World Cup inflated their egos massively. Yeah, Zoravar, they're running around. Some of them, we did this, we did that, blah blah blah. And the behavior. Again, I've read a lot today about, or about what has happened around the Afcon. I wasn't aware. As I said, psychological warfare they've been doing, and supposedly also with the help of CAF. So, not so good. So, is there any news on AFC Nations League for this year? No. Lama, it is a proposal that the AFC has put forward, and with the AFC, it I'm not sure because they have to now rebuild the calendar of Asian football regarding because your World Cup qualifiers and Asian Cup qualifiers were one joint qualifier. Does that stay? How does the cycle work? So there's a lot of question marks around that, and that will be interesting to see that the AFC, I think maybe the AFC already has something in petto. They've not said anything, or actually, I've also not asked the tops of the AFC, but let's wait and see what happens. I think themselves on par with the big boys. Yeah, Zoravar, I think Manolo is a good coach, but is mostly defensive. Futsemi, the question is not if he's defensive or not. The question is what can he do, and he's done actually, in my opinion, quite well with whatever material that he has been have at his disposal. And yeah, that's the challenge that a Manolo has, right? A Manolo will come and then and this season, I to me it looks like Goa will have to go into the market and sign players because otherwise it's going to be difficult, right? So that's the thing. Right, 1 hour 11 minutes of this live. 15 of you are watching. If you haven't, like, share, please subscribe if you were watching and not a subscriber. 14 likes so far. We're still at 3,714 today. Yeah, so please do support. And wanted to look at European Champions League fixtures over the next couple of days. Looking at what do we have? We've got Inter Milan, Arsenal, Olympiacos, Bayern, Real Madrid, Monaco, Sporting versus PSG, Tottenham, Borussia Dortmund, Villarreal, Ajax on Tuesday. Before that, Bodo Glimt, Man City in the early kickoff, and Kairat, actually afternoon kickoff against Club Brugge. And then on Wednesday, Galatasaray, Atletico Madrid, Karabakh, Frankfurt, the early kickoffs. Atalanta against Athletic Bilbao, Bayern Munich against Union Saint-Gilloise, Chelsea against FC Paphos, Juventus versus Benfica, Marseille versus Liverpool, Newcastle United versus PSV Eindhoven, and Slavia Prague against FC Barcelona. So those are the interesting matches in the UEFA Champions League. There are rumors of Mohamed Subhajan interested to sign Gangte. Yeah, Zoravar. Um, Dalalmon Gangte was for me as not forget that he was the captain, but he was for me the standout player of the India under 17s. That boy was for me the best of the best. You know. Um, so if but I would tell him you're at Northeast United, I would stay there and try and get the exposure. Why can't AFF why AFF can't introduce rule like OCI player quota in each ISL team like it was in I League few years back? Shomo, because it wasn't in the I League, it was in the NFL. It was in 2005 on my recommendation. And you didn't attract the best of the best OCI PIO players or PIO players at the time. And the only one who was good and who made it was Izumi Arata. The rest were semi pro guys or even lower level pro guys who couldn't make it in Indian conditions. And therefore, I don't want those kind of players to come to Indian play. I want them to play where they're playing and play at a high level. Will you be better off signing Habas instead of Manolo? I wonder. I think yes. Because Habas is as good as Manolo is. Habas is a strict disciplinarian. I think that is needed with the team if you look at Steven. Um, Habas is also realistic. I think, and Habas got in those few months coaching Inter Kashi in the I League a total reality check on Indian football and Indian conditions. So I would think would have been better. But again, you and I don't know. We're speculating. It could have been, it might have been even worse. Maybe he's going to try to play Bryson on up top. Getting a striker looks impossible this season. Augusto, let's wait and see. Again, might be Bryson, might be Mohamed Nimel, but FC Goa that we've known will not be this season at the moment. At what age can a young player be signed and like when joining? They can't join an academy. So young players in Europe cannot join an academy from outside Europe. They have to be can sign for senior teams and have to sign a professional contract. you know. So let's wait and see. We're now reading news about AIFF appointing new coaches for women's teams for Asian competitions. Your thoughts? Shumit, to me, sounds good. But again, I don't know Amalia Valverde. I don't know about Conti. I maybe know as much as you or less. Um, again, looks good on paper because they have, yeah. Um, so therefore, we'll have to wait and see if they can deliver because both of them, again, Conti theoretically has a little bit more time, but um, Amelia has limited time. Do you think Mohanbag Superjan will perform well with Lobera? Soravar, good question. Lobera normally gets good results out of his teams. I don't know how the team gels. And their advantage is Mohun Bagan has six foreigners compared to the others. So Mohun Bagan, anyway, Vosroy, Mohun Bagan, East Bengal go into this tournament as the big favorites at the moment. I think the old players of our national team has lost that mindset of winning because the last time I watched the game of India was Singapore. I only saw Changte playing good, except everyone. Lama, again, if they've lost the mindset, do you think the younger ones have the mindset? So let's see. Mohammad Supergiant doesn't have a foreign midfielder, defensive midfielder till date. Blue, to me, do they need one? I mean, they've gotten through difficult phases and have maintained their standards compared to the others, and they have six foreigners. No, they can play around with their foreigners. I don't know if Mohun Bagan actually need any change per se, right? So I don't know. True, they were looking to sign a Japanese midfielder. I guess Petratos will leave. So our Petratos was supposed to leave on the 1st of Jan, right? Dimi Petratos was gone. Dimi Petratos is still there. Therefore, is he gone? Is he gone? No, no, he's still there. So I don't even know if there will be any changes, right? So therefore, for me, again, uh, even if they don't have Dimi Petratos, even if there are five of them and they remain fit, Mohun Bagan have theoretically the best because East Bengal has to now find and settle in two foreign strikers. Well, who knows? I won't be surprised if they sign the striker. No, that's also a thing. No, with Mohun Bagan, you never know. They might be so crazy and say, "Oh, you know what? Let's sign. Let's bring in someone." And yeah, it is. I don't know. It's a very difficult one, and um, will be very interesting to see what they do. But to me, the biggest question is with the other teams, right? What are the other teams going to do, and will there be any changes? Does one of the teams say, "Oh, you know what? Um, what is going to happen? Maybe I should sign, players." Can't trust Vinay Chopra says Saravar. Surprised to see Aladdin Ajare to Persia United. No, it makes sense for Northeast United because they get him off their wage books, right? Or wage bills, sorry, wage bills and off their books. Everyone's trying to save money, right? And so therefore, so therefore, um, yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens. Again, uh, at Pesija, it's very interesting to see that they have now five ex-ISL players, um, players who normally would have not signed in Indonesia because the salaries in India are higher. Right? So that's a very, very interesting move that has happened in that league. Is Coca-Cola sponsoring for coach also women's team? No. Futseni, they are involved with the under 17s as far as I know. I don't know if there's been an added deal on top of that. But as far as I knew, uh, uh, um, um, you know, um, it is only an under 17 sponsorship. Why is it? Ah, East Bengal could look faster. No, Blue. He signed in Indonesia, so um, yeah, could could have looked at him for a loan deal, but I guess Northeast United will not support opponents in that way. And then Ajare has gone to Indonesia to the Super League over there, to the Indonesian Super League, which I found very funny that it's called the Super League, a BRI Super League, which is the sponsor, and the organizing body of the Super League in Indonesia is called I League. So, yeah, I found that very funny. Do you think Coca-Cola sponsored Amelia for national team? No, that has come. I think it's come via someone, um, you know, um, from someone independently. I think there has been some goodwill. Someone has paid for her to come for 3 months. I remember ATK signed John Johnson, had 8 foreigners. He didn't even get game time. Yeah, Augusto. Yeah, yeah. Was intended, and then they don't even know why. East Bengal is looking for two names at the moment: Pereira, Diaz, and Mauricio Zoravar. And as far as I know, again, this is old news in my opinion. Jorge Pereira Diaz is still at Mumbai City. They haven't released him, and it looks like at the moment that he will stay at Mumbai City. And Diego Mauricio has left Indonesia, but yeah, he's been linked with other teams as well. So it will be very interesting to see what happens. Thailand national team has seriously developed much better. I think it's the time to say that they can beat Korea or Japan now. No. Huh. How, I mean, Lama, they've developed, but they've not developed to that level. Right? Thailand is not a top, you know. And if they win, I would always say it's a fluke. I would always tell you it's not, Indonesian league wages less than Indian league. Yes, Blue. The wages in Southeast Asia generally are less than in the ISL. We talk about the Indian player wages. Even the foreigner wages are the highest, right, for the standard of our league. So that is also a thing, right? So therefore, wages correction. Why clubs are saying, listen, let's go into the season without foreigners. It makes sense for a lot of them because then their wage bill goes down to zero, right? So therefore, a lot of these guys are actually saying, I wanna try and play the season without the foreigners. What happened to John Johnson? Did he leave playing football? Didn't hear anything regarding him post ATK. By now, yes. I mean, we're talking about ATK that was, I think, pre-COVID. By now, I think uh, asking a good question. Let me just check. Sorry, my mistake. He came during COVID. Actually, didn't play then with Atletico, ATK Mohun Bagan, and then, of course, yes, had a final season with Roundglass Punjab under Ashley Westwood, right? 21-22. He's now 37, and supposedly that was his last season. Yeah, so that is what is still available as data. Will Chennaiyan FC play with Indians only? Yeah, that looks likely, but they've got still two foreigners on their books. So therefore, some of these teams are looking at what they can do because some of them are hoping to reduce their wage bills by releasing their players, right? So that's the thing. And Acha, there, Clifford is the head coach. Noel Wilson, assistant Rajat Gua is the goalkeeping coach. So that's um, what the structure at the moment is. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what these guys can factually do. Is there news for SAF Championship? Nama, nothing. There is um, there of course there is this thing that is supposed to be held in June. So that's the news that was out. It was supposed to be held in Bangladesh. I don't know with the whole India Bangladesh situation that if it can be, it's not clear. Um, but to me, if you ask me, then I think yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens. Again, politics is a big factor these days, so we'll have to wait and see if that becomes a factor between India and Bangladesh as well, for the SAF Championship to be played in Bangladesh or not. But to me, yeah, it's a point of conversation. Um, Other people have been asking me about the SAF Club Championship. I don't see the SAF Club Championship happening until I am told 100% that it's going to happen, right? It's been said that it will happen, I don't know how many times over the last 17, 18 years. That is that. And again, over the summer, I think there needs to be clarification of what happens with the Indian Super League, right? So therefore, that is something which is there. Which ISL teams will play with only Indian players? Confirmed till now. Zoravar, if you want a confirmation on which Indian, so for which ISL team will play only with Indians, Then there's only 100% confirmation that is Mohammedan Sporting, right? That has been said. We will only play with Indians. Merajuddin Wadu will be our coach. So that's been stated. Further down, I said Chennai and FC, supposedly, but they've got foreigners on their books. FC Goa considered it, but Paul Moreno seems to be now staying, so they will at least have one. Dejan Razic is still on their books. Mumbai City also at some stage had said that they would only play with Indians, but now it seems like Pereira Diaz and Jorge Ortiz, who are still on contract, are staying while John Toral has left the club. So therefore, that is another one. So Northeast has released certain number of foreigners, but I think Zabako seems to be staying. Odisha FC have some foreigners on their books. Punjab FC have signed new foreigners, so they will play with foreigners. SC Delhi will also play with foreigners. These two teams actually played a friendly today, Punjab FC and SC Delhi. Blasters, not 100% sure, could also be a candidate of without foreigners, while BFC will play with foreigners, but how many, not sure. So therefore, I think that the clubs are waiting for confirmation from the AIFF about certain things before making a move to sign anyone. So yeah, we have the 19th of January, and I think there's a lack of clarity of how this thing will move forward. But if you ask me at the moment, it is a little unsure, unclear what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, because yeah, we are stuck where we are. The India Bangladesh cricket conflict is crazy because this is the first time since inception Bangladesh didn't support India in ICC, and all started because of stupid move by BCCI. Therefore, Blue, that's the danger that I see for us. That politics, that politics is creating problems in it. Good night, Zonavar. And as you say, both sides are too arrogant to talk another about the problem, and that's the whole issue, right? The issue is here at the end of the day is, can we, between nations, between federations, sort out the issues? And if you can sort it out between the federations without getting politics involved, that would be the best case scenario. It looks very tough, in my opinion. So therefore, we are in the situation we are in, and things are not getting better, in my opinion. And it is the way it is, and therefore it is. Yeah, it's a very, very complex scenario, and we'll have to wait and see what happens in the coming days and weeks. But it's not getting easier. It's not getting easier, and therefore the sporting repercussions. If you look at it, India did not play the under 20 SAF Women's Championship last year in Bangladesh, which was a little bit of a repercussion of what is happening in the country. Again, I don't want to mix politics and sports. Let sports be sports. But again, everything today is in today's world, in the year 2026, is politicized, and that is sort of a problem for us as well, which is affecting football in India and on a global scale. Look at, again, we could come back to the Asian Cup. Um, you know, let's see. Mang is doing this despite knowing that cricket ecosystem may get drained and the players are targeted. Yeah, but Blue, at some stage you also need to stand up for yourself, right? And I guess Bangladesh is trying to do that. Is it right or wrong? But again, without Indian money, the ICC doesn't exist, right? That's also a reality. So therefore, I don't know. And in Bangladesh, of course, at the moment, football is competing with cricket suddenly, right? Because of Hamza Chaudhry's successes, the win against India in November, all of these things are putting pressure on the cricket board in Bangladesh, and therefore they need to act. Maybe they think they need to act, or have to do something, or have to stand strong because the political class is telling them, hey, listen, you have to show, India who we are, what we are. All these things are factors, so we'll have to wait and see. And yeah, makes it very, very interesting as well. So that's that. And then yeah, we're in a very tricky scenario. Um, so that's that. I think we actually made a mistake by sacking Constantine at that time. Lama Constantine didn't get sacked. Stephen resigned himself. So Stephen in 2019 didn't get sacked. He at the press conference post the game against Bahrain, which India lost 1-0 and India were eliminated from the AFC Asian Cup 2019. Stephen said, thank you very much. I had a lovely time. I did the most. The team did great, but I'm now formally resigning. So he resigned at the press conference, and I remember I was at the game, and then after the game, I was in the car. I've told the story many, many times. I was sitting in the car with then AIFF Vice President Subradatta with Sunanda Dhar was the I-League CEO, and as well as I am Vijayan. And someone called up Subradatta, and we got to know, oops, okay, he's got fired. So yeah, Stephen did a great job, and Stephen could have come back in the last two cycles, be it when Manolo was appointed, be it when Khalid was appointed. It didn't happen, and those are some of the realities of Indian football. And as I say, as disappointing as it was a problem. Just one second, I have to get up one second and do something. And that is the problem that we're facing, right? That we are in a situation where um, certain things need to happen for our football, or decisions need to be taken. Again, decisions are taken in football every day. Are they right? Are they wrong? It's always a challenge. And in this instance, for example, yeah, they were wrong. And again, you know, would you would anyone have said in the summer, oh, Xabi Alonso going to Real Madrid, is it a wrong decision? No, it's not. You would have, most people would have said, but afterwards, now you realize, what the problems are at Real Madrid, the way that Xabi Alonso operates and works. Then one would have said, okay, you know what? I think it doesn't match. And these are some of the realities of these things, which then come together, which jumble together, and which create all these problems, and then don't make it easy. And that's for me always something where I say, you know what? We need to try and keep things going with all the difficulties that we're facing. But yeah, but again, that's the reality. And we'll have to see what happens. To me, it's a daily struggle. It's a daily challenge for you, me, and for everyone, um, to see, and recognize what the issues are in these kinds of circumstances. But again, to once more say, Lama, no, Stephen did not resign on his own. Stephen Constantine was not sacked. Stephen Constantine himself resigned at the press conference post the game against Bahrain, to clarify, on that day. And it was a very, very somber, very disappointing evening as well, because it was a big opportunity for Indian football. We didn't take it. And yeah, that's one of those realities of football. Right. 1 hour, 32 minutes, meaning 92 minutes of this live on Monday evening. Once more, like, share, and subscribe to Arun Foot. 16 likes so far. And yeah, 3,714 of you who have subscribed to the channel. Thank you to all of you. Watch my short videos as a reminder as well. Did something on Senegal beating Morocco. Um, Yesterday did something on the Indian Super League. Before that, on Manisha moving to Peru, and Amelia Valverde joining the women's national team, about Bayern Munich, about Real Madrid, governance structure of the ISL explained, and other things. Watch all the videos. A lot of interesting stuff, I always say. And thank you as always for your support on this channel. Without you guys, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. I do it for the fun of it, for the love of it. And thank you as always for your support. And if you don't seem to have any more queries or questions, um, guys, then I would slowly think about coming to an end of this live on this Monday evening. Once more, we watched a memorable, or maybe you've heard about it, maybe you didn't watch it, a memorable AFCON final, Africa Cup of Nations 2025 final, in which Senegal beat hosts Morocco 1-0 in extra time after a lot of chaos in injury time of the second half, where Senegal actually had walked off the field, returned back onto it, and all the other things that happened in and around the game, yeah, which was insane to think, what could it happen in a game. And further, still in the Indian Super League, lack of clarity in regard to when we will know the scheduling. I think that's another thing, another problem which is still there, because a lot of teams are struggling with their home grounds because of blackout dates, washout dates, where these grounds are blocked either for concerts, for events, other kinds of events, or for political rallies. Elections are there. There will be elections not only in Bengal, but also in Kerala, in Tamil Nadu, in Assam. Those are all becoming factors into the scheduling as well. And the AIFF has released an RFP on the media rights. Did that late last evening. That is available on the AIFF website. Um, Wanting a broadcaster to come forward, not only to broadcast the league but also produce it. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see if anything on that front happens. But again, these are all things that are realities at this moment in time as I speak to you today in Indian football. And yeah, as I said, also here on Arunfoot, I'll be doing a little bit more of international football this week. I can't do a live on the Champions League, but next week I'm planning to do a live watch along in the Champions League. And yeah, well, let's hope that things move in the right direction. As I see no more comments from you guys or anything, once more, thank you for being with me this Monday evening. Like, share, and subscribe Aaron Foot here on YouTube. Visit my other social medias, visit arunfoot.com. And I'll be back tomorrow with another live and we'll talk about Indian football. Hopefully, some positive things, maybe a little bit of previewing of the UEFA Champions League as well. And never stop supporting Indian football. Thanks and good night, everyone.